Hi guys, welcome to our second episode of Players Panel.
I'm Zane. I'm a senior at Harvard Westlake. I'm 17 years old, and I started Pure Fusion about 3.5 years ago. And somewhere along my junior year, Ira and I, connected, even though at that time we're not actually friends. We kind of disliked each other.
Almost enemies, yeah. Almost, yeah.
But, Ira was someone that I could tell had ambition and drive, and I put him to the test. I was like, look, if you could, work on something continuously, putting in effort for 6 months, I'll 100% make you, like a co-founder. And almost a year and a half later, I'm sitting next to my co-founder.
Yeah, wow. Absolutely. So I'm Ira. I'm committed to the University of Texas for baseball. Committed this September. Been playing baseball like my whole life. I think that's where I initially mentioned to you that I know I have that drive. I can put in that work. Always been someone who's staying longer, working harder. And I've also, on that note, always been entrepreneurial. So when Zane approached me, he first gave me a task to just find people to be in our ambassador program. So that's if they got a certain amount of people to post, they would get commission. So I was tasked with recruiting that. It was a Google form.
Yeah.
Crazy how far we've come already. And that didn't pan out at all, but Zane and I started working together, and I slowly integrated myself into what Pure Fusion was and is. And then there was a small period of time where I think I took it a little less seriously. Over the summer, I had a lot going on with baseball. And then initially came back after the summer, right before I committed, and I started religiously taking Pure Fusion, every day. And after a week, I remember coming to you because you were telling me, you were like, Rudy, this stuff is crazy. I need you on this. And I tried it for, like I said, literally a week, no exaggeration. Saw the craziest results, and I'm like, it's time to go all in. If this can transform me, then it can transform so many other people. And then I would say for the past 4 months, 4.5, 5 months, the work has picked up tremendously, and we're absolutely pushing right now. So
yeah,
it's a little backstory between Zane and I.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to come here. Pure Fusion is such a catchy name, and I think the majority of the people at school know about it and know what you guys are trying to do. But what's the story behind how you guys came up with the name Pure Fusion?
Yeah, I mean, the name stems from having the purest formula out of any other protein supplement on the market, and then the fusion aspect of the Pure Fusion is fusing the 5 core ingredients for your muscle growth, strength, and rejuvenation into one.
So Ira, how did you join Pure Fusion? I know you guys just mentioned that you guys weren't friends, really, almost enemies.
Yeah.
Can you get more into that?
Of course. I mean, I'll go into as much detail as I can, but Zane and I just, we were never, I didn't really know him coming into my sophomore year. He didn't know me coming into his junior year. And just throughout the social scene, seeing him at school, outside of school, I would venture to say we didn't get along. I think it was for circumstances we couldn't really control, honestly. I didn't have a vendetta against him. It's just we didn't see eye to eye. But like I said, I actually heard about Pure Fusion through one of my teammates and close friends, Andrew Rico, because his dad owns kind of a youth baseball program, and I heard Zane and him talking about it and how his dad could help Zane out. And honestly, I've never told you this, but I just thought to myself, I can do so much more than he can. I will do a better job than him, and I'll do better for this brand. So that's why I approached you, because I knew what I could do with my athletic background and my drive, like we talked about. And then it was just, we were kind of handcuffed for a while because we didn't get our product until July. Zane can touch on the troubles with the manufacturer, but it took so long, so many delays. So, for the first 3-4 months, all we could do is just reach out to athletes, establish connections, just kind of extend my network to the best ability. But then, like I said, it's really July came around, we got our product. We shot an extremely professional video that we've used for all sorts of social media content, including putting paid ad spend behind it and just organically. And then since then, we've done various booths, partnered with a really healthy amount of gyms. We're partnered with about 5 of the top baseball-specific and soccer-specific training gyms here in LA. And we just rotated to social media marketing that I'm sure Zane can touch on, and you guys might have some questions on as well.
Absolutely. I mean, going back to how Ira and I kind of connected, I just remember seeing Ira walking around the quad, and he's a very confident guy. And because we didn't see eye to eye, I took it the wrong way, but getting to know him better and having him on my team now, I'm very grateful that I have a partner with a very good head on his shoulders, backing me, because I know, if I wake up, everybody has bad days. And when I have those bad days now, I know Ira's got my back. And if I can't pull as much weight as I normally do, Ira will make up for it.
And hold you to that standard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's something that we work on a lot. Is finding a standard and keeping the standard.
Yeah.
Consistency is the only thing that will ever bring results, and that's what we've been learning. But yeah, Ira's a great guy, one of the hardest working guys I've ever met. People make fun of me because I say that so much, but when you get to know him, it's pretty intense.
I actually want to share a pretty funny story. Zane met my parents for the first time last weekend. He was dropping off some product, and I was coming home from practice. One thing Zane isn't the best at is being responsive sometimes on his phone. So I was calling him, asking when is he coming? No response. I get home, and then about 3 doors down, I see his car parked on and with his trunk open. And I'm like, why is his car at my house? And I come in, I see him talking to my parents, blah, blah, they wrap up. And my mom mentions to me, it was great meetings after he left. It was great meeting Zane, blah, blah, blah. And that he said, to my parents that you're very grateful I'm on the team and I'm a very hardworking kid. So wanted to share that, grateful for that brotherhood. And something we've really, touching on the point of holding each other accountable, something we've really been working on, both of us, that we actually just recently had a conversation with, is being able to take really constructive criticism. And I think this is a hard thing, with friends and business. We always talk about separating business and friends. And at the end of the day, Zane and I have grown to be really good friends. But when it's all said and done, what we're trying to accomplish is to become the biggest supplement brand in the whole world. And that's going to come with responsibility and holding you to a higher standard and holding me to a higher standard. So for us to be able to build that, and if I call him out on something he's not doing correctly, it's not a personal thing. And same for me. I just take it to the chin, and we work and get better. So
yeah, and then kind of on that topic and steering more towards the general idea of this podcast, sports and entrepreneurship, something I've definitely realized is I have a sports background. I played lacrosse most of my life. I played football, and then I box now. But there's a different type of competitive environment when you enter something like the entrepreneurship world. When we started, we were competing as if it was a high school sports team, and that just was nowhere near enough. But really think about who the competition is. It's people who, if they don't move their product, if they don't move their brand, their families won't be able to eat at night. And that's the type of...
Love that quote.
Exactly.
Love that quote, yeah.
And that kind of causes, very competitive, tense environment. So it was hard for us at first with the constructive criticism because it literally felt like we were clawing to feed our future families, as corny as that may sound.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very beautiful thing being under that type of tension and pressure because I feel like that's when you really get to grow as a person mentally. And to me, honestly, that's the bigger upside than the monetary value of owning anything, is being able to grow in such a way is amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
You guys talk a lot about your high ambitions, your high standards that you hold for yourselves. And when I talked to Zane over the summer, he said that he spent around 6 to 10 hours a day working. Sometimes he would have 16-hour days. What's your work schedule looking like now? How do you manage that with your school? I know a lot of people have heard rumors about Zane having a decreased class workload. Is that true?
Really?
What is this?
I mean, so I'm currently taking 4 classes right now.
4?
4, yeah.
Special exemptions.
Whoa.
So, I mean, my days are looking like, I go to bed. It really depends on the day. It could be 10 p.m. or it could be 3 in the morning. It's what you have to get done. There's one quote I live by who created it was Alex Ramosi. He's a big entrepreneur, but he says, every day your only goal should be to accomplish what you can do with your given resources that specific day. So that's how my schedule mainly works. Like if I get up and I have a certain amount of resources that will allow me to get a certain amount of stuff done, I won't go to bed until I get that stuff done. And then obviously, being in high school, having a social life interferes a lot. Not too much, but like yesterday night, for example, my friend got back from Barcelona. Haven't seen him in 4 months. Went to dinner with him and then got home, did a little bit of work, but really cut into my time. But yeah, I mean, that's really my schedule.
Yeah, I mean, for me, honestly, it's a little more demanding.
Yeah.
Just because I do play baseball and we're about to get into season. So what that looks like is, of course, school. School still comes first within all this. And then practice. I mean, our practices go 3 to 4 hours sometimes. So like once we get back from winter break, like I'll get home earliest 7 o'clock. And then of course I got to do my homework. And then it's just work. It's just dialing in. I just actually purchased some blue light glasses, making me feel more dialed right there. But it's just as much work. Of course, you have to prioritize sleep. But it's just what you got to get done. It's repetitive, a lot of repetitive tasks, especially with my role. It's really like building the back end stuff, building the systems, making sure they're running the correct way. So it does get repetitive sometimes, but there's a beauty in it. And then since you shared a quote, I want to share a personal quote that I love, and that's, the harder today is, the easier tomorrow will be. So that's something that I think I personally live by, and a lot of people, should as well, because we always talk about compounding success. And as you compound these good days, if you have one bad day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you compound 100 just amazing days that you're just getting after it and after and after it, and you have to take one day with a little less workload because, for example, your friend got back, it's not going to halt the progress. But if you're not giving it your all every day, and you're constantly like getting distracted by tasks that don't move the needle, that's a big thing we talk about. Did you move the needle? Then that's where you really cut into your progress.
Wow. You guys seem really big on quotes, and I listened to Zane's previous podcast. You referenced Newton's third law, every action has an equal opposing reaction. So what was your toughest moment in building Pure Fusion that created the opposite reaction, where kind of like the struggle paid off and made it all worth it?
Yeah, so that quote was brought up after I spoke about some traumatic experiences that I had growing up, which was, when I was sneaking out with some of my friends, one of them ended up getting hit by a drunk driver. And then a month after that, my grandfather ended up passing away. And a month after that, my parents ended up separating because my mom was having a really hard time dealing with her father's death. And I think, honestly, at that time, I was chasing comfort because I was so lost in just doing things that made me feel good. And that's honestly the hardest thing that had to happen for Pure Fusion, was walking away from what I wanted for what I needed. And as hard as that was also, again, what I put out, I got back. So I walked away from everything that made me happy. I slowly started socializing way less. And those type of sacrifices is what pays off on the back end. But yeah, I mean, again, it's just that quote. Because I have faith that even if I sacrifice my fun right now, if I sacrifice certain friendships for what I need, and that is to grow a brand or just my entrepreneurship skills, it will eventually pay off.
To piggyback off Gene's question, was there like a specific moment for you guys where you were like, wow, this brand is legit and this is an actual future for me and how I can like continue to expand on it?
Yeah. We get a lot of those moments, honestly, but
I think I could touch on this real quick. I don't think, at least for me, and I'm sure it's different for Zane, and I actually have a question I'm going to ask him after this, but I think it's just every single person that has tried the product and actually used it has responded well.
Yeah.
Like, it is really, like, if I search deep down, like, it is really hard to find people that did not respond well to it. So just the constant positive feedback and how their body feels on it, how it tastes, how it blends, like all those different factors, it just compounds, like I say, like in my brain, that it's like, wow, this is something that can actually help people, and people actually like and get benefits from. So that alone makes me think that like we have a real product. that we can strategically distribute, but we have something legit here.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I could give two little moments. One is which Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah.
So Pete Crow Armstrong, Ira reached out to Kyle, who is Dog Pound Athletics. It's a baseball niche gym we sponsor, and I remember wanting to give him protein. I remember the specific day because I was in Coachella, and I went to bed at like 3 a.m. the night before. I woke up at 6 just to call my dad to get an Uber package of the sample test to Ira, and nothing ended up happening. He PCA completely Hollywooded us, but recently Ira texted me and he's like, guess who just asked to try some of the product?
Yeah.
I was like,
wow.
Who? And it was PCA.
He was actually, so he was at our field, and I have a bunch of relations to him, of course, but I saw him talking to some of the coaches and some of the other former players, and I went up to him, I introduced myself, and he's like, oh, like, you're Ira, like, I've been meaning to try the protein. And I was like, I got some in my car, practice was about to start. He's like, nah, you can give it to me later. I'm like, not missing this opportunity. So I run to my car, and I give him a bag, and goes from. I think that's a pretty cool moment. I mean, MLB All-Star right there. So
yeah, I mean that's a whole 360. But if like not to sound a little too confident, but I think the real day I knew like we were dealing with something that could be really legit was the day Ira and I started to connect on the same wavelength mentally and work-wise, like our work ethic, and seeing the way we motivate each other is like, okay, we're two young, I guess, men now. I'm about to be 18, with a passion, with a dream, and with a vision. And if there's one thing that has proven itself to be true throughout history, throughout every entrepreneurship world, is there will be ups, there will be downs, but if you have enough passion, enough drive, and the right people around you, anything is possible. And that is something that Ira and I definitely have together. And it's a weird feeling because there's no words that can really capture what it feels like, but it's like this, it's almost like butterflies, but a little more tense. It's like, if it honestly feels like we're about to get in a fight, as funny as it is.
I saw a Warren Buffett quote actually recently, and he was talking about that there's no stronger bond than two men that, really forge on business. People can start as friends, they can start as whatever, but because just like we talked about, we did not start as friends. Yeah. Like our relationship is forged on business, and I think my theory for it is when two people, Zane and I, we want one common goal so badly, and we're willing to do whatever for it, that's where that bond really comes from, because we want to get something and we're determined to get it at such a high level, and that's the strongest bond that anyone can create.
Yeah, and then it's like also having the good product, but then again, sorry to keep quote dropping, but it's also Alex Ramosi. It's like work so hard it becomes unreasonable for you not to succeed.
Yeah. And
when you can really kind of embody that, you enter some sort of flow state where it's the bad days don't even feel like bad days. It just feels like another day. And it's like, you enter this flow state. It's like my goal is just to get through my next task. It's not to become the biggest protein supplement overnight, because I know that's never going to happen no matter how much I dream. So it's kind of like putting that back and just focusing on the day-to-day is what keeps us so motivated and confident.
Yeah, and I want to, real quick, just touch on something Zane told me before, and that was every single day should be the worst day of this business.
100%.
And we were coming off a really exciting, we had our first Zoom with our sales team at this cool penthouse, blah, blah, whatever. And I call him, I'm pretty hyped up, thought that went well. And he said, Ira, I want this to literally be the worst day in Pure Fusion history. It should only get better. And living off that, every single day should be the worst day in our business, because then you can only, steadily go up. So I think that's an important thing.
You guys are talking about the shared passion and all the work you're putting into it. But with that, of course, tensions are going to run high. Like you said, can you describe your last biggest fight? And I guess coming off that, do you guys fight a lot, and what are those fights like?
Yeah. I mean, we're not we don't fight in the sense where it's F you, I'm not going to talk to you type of stuff. But it's more like...
It gets to that point sometimes.
But what was going on? It was something about, so I was working on the meta ad campaigns. And, when you put a static ad out, there's certain previews, right? There's the box. There's like a box one. There's the horizontal one. There's the vertical one. And Ira sends me a screenshot of the box one. And he's like, what the is this? Because it's like a half cut off bag with like some details.
It looked awful.
Yeah, and I'm like, I said, shut up. I thought he was getting mad at me, but he just he doesn't do the meta because that's my responsibility. So he didn't understand that no matter what the static ad is, I can't like choose different static ads for different peripherals. So it's like I had to just crop it in that way. There was no other solution. Yeah,
and we kind of mentioned that before, but the reason why, and I mean, I would say I kind of lectured you a little bit, but and this happens a lot, and like we were talking about, this constructive criticism, but I said like, dude, what is this? Like you said, maybe in a more explicit way. And he was, getting all defensive, of course, which I understand. And I told him straight up, I'm like, this is not, we always talk about the premium brand and we want to be the best. We want to market like the best. This is not the best. So I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about whether or not you meant to do it the right way or whether or not you can't do it the right way. Like, just get it done. Yeah. And I think that, it's important, like we talked about, that when I'm telling... And when you ask about tensions, it's really just that. It's like if he doesn't or I don't see something that in my view isn't to the best ability and in his view isn't the best ability of my work, like we're going to call each other out on it.
100%.
And we are both young men with testosterone and we're hyped up. And when another person, especially... your peer is telling you something that you did wrong, like you don't take it, like that's an ego check, what it really is.
Yeah.
But being able to get over that is the most important part.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like, like the cliche of being a man, what I really think of that is like being a strong, smart person, whether you're a man or a woman. And like I was saying, it's like something I've learned deeply is like getting over your ego is something you have to do if you want to be successful in anything. And that's a really good point right there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to what you were saying about Pico Armstrong, this is just a little question. Do you guys always just keep a bag on you in case something happens?
I mean, I would say that this is when we started doing it. It was earlier this year. We were at Sportsman's Lodge and we saw like Stable Ronaldo, the big streamer. I'm sure you guys know him. We went up to him. We were talking to him about the product. He said he wanted to try it, but we didn't have any bags.
Yeah.
And then, he's like, oh, you can send it to the FaZe house, but we all know that he's not going to see that. And then since that point, we always have 2 boxes in our car.
Yeah.
Lastly, you guys were talking about being surrounded by great people. And I want you guys to walk us through your guys' team. Like, what's the roles of everyone in the organization, and how does that really fit together?
Oh, I mean, that's more my responsibility, and honestly, it goes deep. So it's like, I would say the everyday guys, like, is literally me and Ira, and then sometimes a guy we know, Jaden, met a guy named Cesar, who's recently joined us and started helping us a lot. But it's just the network we've built over the past 3 years runs pretty deep, and it's like, we have people for specific things, whether that's advice, whether that's retail, whether that's marketing. And yeah, I mean, I've made a lot of connections just throughout my journey in the fitness world. Started training people for fun, and it's helped a lot. But I think like what you're saying is surrounding yourself around the right people. And honestly, I would be more concerned if Ira and I were not fighting like a lot sometimes, because it's iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah,
if there's no drive, if there's no genuine passion, you will never clash. But when someone wants it that bad, like, of course our ideas are going to clash.
Yeah.
That's what's a good
I think
sign.
I mean, from an external point of view, like our team, and Zane has done an amazing job networking. Honestly, it's definitely a superpower that you have. But our direct team, like you said, it's Zane and I. And it's every day, and it's like, it's a small team. Like, it's not like we have a team of 10 people and we have a developer and we have a marketer. Like, it is our job to figure out how to market, how to run ads on campaigns, like how to create systems, how to code, like how to build up the website. Like we have had to learn these skills. We aren't hiring or able to even delegate these tasks because for, various reasons, but it's really just us like grinding every day. Because that's like what we got right now. And
100%.
Yeah.
And I mean, just touching on that, it's really hard to bring more people on until you've done it all on your own, because how are you going to delegate a task that you don't even know how to fulfill yourself? So a lot of the people that we work with, if we do choose to work with people, is a task that we know how to do, but we know it's very time consuming, then we'll kind of get the extra help in that sense. But yeah, I agree.
I think it's also an important thing to say is like it's hard to just bring people on for the reason like you don't just get to come on the team. Like
100%.
The amount of people that have wanted to join or said they want to join, or that's what Zane told me in the beginning. He said, okay, a lot of people talk the talk, but are you going to walk the walk? And
Absolutely.
I mean, of course, who doesn't want to be an entrepreneur? Who doesn't want to be a part of a business that's growing and, be in the limelight and be on social media? Like, that's cool. It's attractive. But, like, you have to earn that. And it's not an easy task. And we've seen many people just fizzle out because they just don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about this story. It's like, so I realized at a very young stage in this journey is like the one thing you will never be able to buy whatever, like however much money you have, is people that work hard and can see the same vision as you. And like for the longest time, people were like, okay, let me try to help Zane. Like, I want to be a part of this. And I would say the exact same thing because I saw too many people fizzle out. And I'm like, okay, if you really want this, you're going to work for free for 6 months, which logically is like, what the hell? And no one.
Long time.
Yeah. But no one wanted it that bad, right? So it's like, why would I have you on my team if you're not willing to sacrifice that much? Like 6 months is a huge sacrifice. And it's surprising. I thought a lot of people wanted to like really be part of this, but it's not true. It's like people fizzle out. People they don't have the drive that Ira does.
Yeah.
And I swear, kid you not, I think maybe 20 kids got the same opportunity as Ira. Because at this point, I told Ira straight up, it's like, you're competing against him, and him, and him. So if you really want this, you're going to have to outwork them, and you're going to have to stay on this longer.
Yeah. And there's been multiple rounds after that. Sales teams, all of that. And it's just like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
And I think that's just part of our age as well. It's really hard to find people that are willing to sacrifice like just fun even. Like going out on a Saturday night should not be a hard sacrifice if you want it that bad.
Yeah.
I want to touch on your guys' marketing aspect. I know you guys have your Instagram, and I followed on pretty quickly. And then I noticed you guys also have your personal TikTok accounts. And that's been a hot topic, I think, at the school. Maybe you guys haven't heard it like direct. Zane, I know you have your infamous thirst traps. And Ira, you have a lot of, I would say, like more quote-based content.
I've sizzled down a little bit. Been a little bit too busy, but.
A little bit, yeah. Can you guys touch on how, like, why those posts?
I think that this is just, and I'll set the scene for Zane, but for me, I stopped. I just don't have enough time. But
so it's not coming back?
No, of course it will. But right now, some other things we need to focus on. But something that we've realized for Zane is, and we've put together plans, and something that I really realized for Zane is personal branding is huge, and people underestimate that. People underestimate, of course you have your brand, you want to have your brand have so many followers and put out these campaigns and this and that, but when people buy a product, they're not buying the product, they're not buying the signs, they're buying in it emotionally, they're buying into the founder, they're buying into the story. So they don't care about the exact science, and there's 0.5 grams of this and 0.8 grams of this, whatever. They care about who the person is that's putting it out and pushing it.
Yeah.
And we've been able to capture that. Zane's done an amazing job and I don't know how your accounts keep blowing up, but they keep blowing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My point of view, honestly, is like what Ira said. So, I started it initially with the idea of like personal brand loop it into Pure Fusion eventually, and then I'm realizing just a broader topic is like safety nets, right? Especially in the given era with AI, there's nothing that's very too predictable, but the one thing that will be predictable is social media is never going to die down at this point. And for me, in my opinion, the biggest safety net to have right now is a personal brand, because you can't go wrong. It's helped me connect with a lot of people, not even because, I only have 4,000 followers right now. But I did have an account with 80 for
I
a while.
remember.
Yeah. But I mean, being able to also just track my physical process, like progression, especially with a protein supplement, has helped me get my foot in a lot of doors. I've been continuously working out with some pretty big guys that are going to soon be helping us with our protein. And there's just only upsides from posting stuff like that. I have a new account too, so I mean, that one's doing that one's doing really well. But yeah, I mean, that's my opinion.
Giving something that the people can relate to.
Absolutely.
So on that note of marketing, we know you guys have a little bit of like a sales rep team with students here at Harvard Westlake. I'm sure they've been very specifically selected, but we have to ask, from what we can see, they're all men. Is there rationale behind that?
I mean, the rationale behind that for now is like, we got to start niche. We got to start really small. We're two guys, right? So who are we able to communicate really well with is men at the start. So, I mean, we do use girls, and we're starting to, like...
Yeah, I mean, I would just interrupt that and say we have about 3 female content creators on the team right now.
Yeah.
Within the, like, TikTok affiliate program. And I think that's equally as important.
100%.
They're, like, you want to market, you want to start niche, of course, but you want to market to everyone. You want to market to families. You want to market to men. You want to market to girls. All of these people, these demographics, it's extremely important and not to be overlooked. But I think the biggest reason for that, I would say, is a lot of those salespeople are just like our closest friends.
Yeah.
Like the ones that did stick around, like we talked about. I mean, they're like, one of them is literally one of my closest friends. Like it's a favor to me. It's, of course, he believes in it and we're sharing the vision. But it's also like, yo, I'm going to build this with you. And like, I've known you for 6 years.
Yeah.
Like it's not really deeper than that.
Yeah. I mean, we've always wanted to incorporate girls, but we just kind of had to start with what we, our closest friends and stuff like that, because it's easier and we could get our footing a little better. But like Ira said, we have some big plans coming up.
Yeah.
Great. And lastly, because we're a bit short on time here, act like I'm trying to buy Pure Fusion. I want you to sell it to me in 30 seconds why you guys are the best.
Take it away.
You want me to take
Let's
it?
start it.
Timer going.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so you need Pure Fusion because we're the first protein supplement that combines all 5 core ingredients for your muscle growth, strength, and rejuvenation, but we also do so at the highest quality. We have patented ingredients like CreaPure Creatine, which is patented at 99.99% purity level, which brings you 10% better results compared to your standard creatine. And all of our specific supplements are the healthiest thing for you to take and have been clinically proven to bring you the most benefit for your muscle growth.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Thank you guys
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate this.